right, for our next class, we have just finished reading through James Joyce's Ulysses, and now we're going to go back to Thomas Mann. We had previously gone through the Magic Mountain, and now we're going back to take a look at Thomas Mann's epic tetralogy, Joseph and His Brothers. Very possibly one of the most underestimated novels, underrated novels of the 20th century. It's an absolute masterpiece. Thomas Mann, at this period in his life, was studying Carl Jung and discovering the world of mythology. This was also one of Joseph Campbell's favorite novels as well. And these were published between 1934 and 1944. Four novels of about 300 pages each: Tales of Jacob, Young Joseph, Joseph in Egypt, and then finally Joseph the Provider. So we'll start on Saturday, September 23rd at noon MST, and we'll go through 8 Saturdays in a row until November 11th. And then so the pace will be, we will go through the four novels. Each one's about 300 pages each, so we'll just read half of each one. So reading is about 150 pages a week. So it's not overwhelmingly difficult. And it's not, Mann is nowhere near as difficult as Joyce or anything like that. It's pretty smooth sailing, but it's very dense, slow-paced, and rich. Mann has done his homework. He has completely reanimated what Gene Gebser and Gebser said of this book in The Ever-Present Origin. He talks about it, Thomas Mann with this book has completely reanimated the mythological consciousness structure and brought it to life in vivid detail. Mann knows everything about this period. This is set during the troubled second millennium, with the fathers, the patriarchs, starting with Abraham and around the time of Hammurabi, probably 1790, and then down through Isaac and then to Jacob. And the novel picks up with Jacob. But Mann moves the timeline down a little bit and sets it in the time of the pharaoh Akhenaten, so that we get to him by the time of the fourth novel, Joseph the Provider. And so it retells the story of, so Jacob fathers on 4 women the 12 brothers who become the 12 tribes of Israel. And of course, Jacob's name is also Israel after he wrestles the angel. So these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And so he has 2 wives. He wants Rachel, but Laban cheats him and gives him Leah instead after 7 years of work. And then so he has to work for 7 more years. And then he gets Rachel, and the 2 handmaids, Bilhah and Zilpah, come along with them. So he's basically got a polygamous group of 4 women, and then fathers the 12. But Joseph is his favorite, and he spoils him. And that's a big mistake in this kind of nomad, pastoral nomad society, semi-nomadic. The other brothers are jealous of him. Jacob gives him a coat of many colors, which has astrological significance, of course, because Joseph can read and write, and he can study the stars. He's also an astrologer. And so the brothers are just jealous, and they decide one day to take him out and throw him into a well. And then so this is his descent, not just into the well, but into Egypt, because a merchant comes along with his camel and picks him up and then sells him in Egypt as a slave. And then he slowly rises up through the ranks to become Pharaoh's primary vizier and his dream interpreter. Then he gets in trouble there in a scandal with Potiphar's wife. Winds up in jail again. So he keeps playing the role of the dying and reviving God that descends into hell and is born again, like the disintegration of Osiris. Mann plugs him into the dying and reviving moon god. Osiris is associated with the moon. And Dionysus and Attis and all of those dying and reviving gods. So that's the central myth that Mann is studying as he sets it in this period with the birth of the Magian consciousness, the Magian culture, what Spengler calls the Magian culture, the Judeo-Christian Islamic culture, coming into being here from out of the womb, you might say, of ancient Egypt. Okay, so that's what we'll do, and I'll see you in class.